All right, so here's an update on the Camaro. So had to take the transmission back out. I'm about to get it put back in. What happened was I couldn't get it to go in gear. And on the shift fork, I didn't have it on there quite right, and it turned out I thought it was maybe just a slave cylinder that needed to be rebled, but it turned out the throwout bearing, I bent it by not having it on there just right. So I'm gonna put that part back on right after I jack it up. Put the transmission in there and hopefully start it up, and it'll be able to go into gear and drive around. So here we go. Alright, gonna put the clutch fork in. I think that's what it's called. Goes onto the release bearing. So that's how it goes on the throw-off bearing. There's a pivot right here, and the slave cylinder pushes against this, and it pushes in on the what would be, I guess not the clutch, but the pressure plate diaphragm area. I think that's what you'd call it, and it pushes it in, and that's what separates the pressure plate away from the clutch, which puts it in, disconnects the engine from the transmission. This is just the boot that goes on it, and this holds in the slave cylinder. So this is a new bearing I'm going to put in. It's just a standard one for this car. Nothing special. I've never had any problem with it. Let's put it in. Yep, and that's the clutch inside there. First part of it's the pressure plate, and the next set of in there is the flywheel, and then inside there is behind that's the flywheel on it. So I would say, did I say that right? First part of it is the pressure plate, then the next part of it is the clutch, and then inside just a little bit farther is the flywheel on it. So this is a slave cylinder. It goes right in there with the bracket, and here's where the clutch fork goes in there, and then goes onto where the pressure plate is. Here we go, got the transmission in. Some of these bolts are fighting me. Got 2 in here. Only 1 in over here. But enough just to get it served, make sure everything is okay and there's not anything internally wrong. But get the rest of it hooked up and just see if it will go into gear. And if it is, we'll come back here and get these bolts. Just takes a little bit, probably more patience with it.